Hello everybody! It's been a long time. I have a video coming to explain where I've been and what's been going on, but today I wanted to talk about something a little more fun. So back in about February, I realized I have absolutely no trade skills whatsoever, and in the real world, you kind of have to have a practical skill in order to be successful. Good with money, you know, good with technology, good at woodworking. And I have none of those things. So I decided I wanted to learn how to sew. Being that my mom is an amazing seamstress, I decided to have her teach me. And it's the first time that she's had to teach me anything since school, which was an experience. I was homeschooled from preschool all the way until 12th grade, just in case you didn't know. And I endured. I'm just kidding. It was actually a really fun experience, but I learned a lot of things along the way, and I thought I would talk about them in this video and show you what I actually made. So I'm not a total noob to the sewing world. I know how to sew by hand, and when I was like 12 or 13, I had this really tiny little sewing machine that was like cordless. It was battery operated. And it was a pain in the ass. So I was like, any good sewing machine has to be easier to use and better than that one. Like, it just has to be. I was, however, nervous because I'm not good with my hands really by any means. I don't have good hand-eye coordination. It's not one of my skills. My mom and I took a trip to Joann Fabrics because in our area that's really the only option for a fabric store that we have. We have Hobby Lobby, but their selection for fabric isn't the greatest. We used to have a Hancock Fabrics, but they closed, and I haven't seen one in a long time. So Joann it was. I looked around in their pattern books, but I never realized how hard it was to take something that you picture in your head and kind of visualize it in pattern form, as in like try to find something that you created in your head and try to find a pattern version of it. But I persisted. And oh my god, patterns are expensive. I never really realized that. I found one that I liked, but it was about $20 for the pattern, and that was a little too much. Stumbled upon the best thing I could have possibly found in this situation. The easy to sew wall of patterns. There were patterns for $3.99, $4.99, and they were labeled as See and Sew, which I was like, fuck yeah. I bought one for $3.99, and it was as close to what I was envisioning for what I wanted to make. I'll explain really quickly what I envisioned. I wanted to make this 50s housewife-ish, like, poofy, beautiful, flowy skirt. Cute pattern and everything, and well, I couldn't find a pattern that was cheap enough that looked like what I wanted. But I found a wrap skirt pattern, and it was supposed to be easy. So I was like, why not? And we went to Walmart after not finding a patterned fabric that I liked at Joann or Hobby Lobby, and there was this super cute yellow fabric that had little white polka dots and little cherries all over it. It was so cute, so 50s housewife. I was like in love with it, and we needed 4.5 yards, and they only had 4 in the store. I had to leave it behind, which was upsetting. Once I fall in love with something, it's hard for me to fall out of love with it unless the price is just like insane. And it was like $4 a yard, so I was like, oh my god, it is perfect, it's meant to be. But it wasn't, because they didn't have enough of it. I went to a different Walmart hoping to find the same fabric and had less luck. There were even less choices for fabric at the second store we went to, which is the one closest to my house and sucks in so many different ways. So I had to go with a plain, just one color plain fabric. And I changed my mind up a little bit since the skirt was different and now the fabric was different, that it would be more of like a 70s housewife kind of inspired skirt. So we're finally coming to what it was like to make the skirt. And while I've seen my mom do it a lot, I never envisioned the amount of stress that goes into creating things. It takes the longest time to cut out patterns and then pin them to the fabric and then cut them out of the fabric. That was my least favorite part, I have to say. I never sat and like watched my mom the entire time that she was pinning and cutting, so I didn't realize it literally took the entire first day of me doing this project just to cut the patterns out and pin them to the fabric and then cut the fabric out. Oh, I'm not looking forward to doing that part again, but I'm so happy with the end result that I don't know, it might be worth it. Those easy to sew patterns don't apply when you have no sewing experience. They're easy to sew for people who already know how to sew. The pattern for the wrap skirt confused the shit out of my mom, who has been making clothes my whole life at least, okay? I'm in my 20s. I'm in my late 20s. She was making things before I was even born, and this pattern was confusing to her. So, like, what does that say about the pattern itself? After all the drama of cutting and pinning and cutting again, came to actually sewing with the sewing machine. I was excited and nervous at the same time. Like I said, I've never used a real sewing machine before, so I didn't know what to expect from it, really. I should add that the easy to sew pattern that I picked had pockets and interfacing and just a whole crapload of techniques that I had never even heard of. So I had to have help from my mom. It was a little bit of cheating, but it wouldn't have turned out as good if she didn't help me with some of it. Don't come for me that I didn't do it all myself. I realized too late that I probably should have made a pillow first, since you don't see any of the seams. Lesson learned, okay? Anyway, I did all of the internal seams myself. I did the pockets, I did the side seams, I did part of the waistband, and my mom took over for the hem and a little bit of the waistband and the waist tie attachment situation. Oh, I did the waist ties partially too. The whole process of making the skirt, not including the days when I took a break, because I get overwhelmed and stressed easily, took about 4 days. 4 or 5 days is probably too much time for how easy it was supposed to be, but it wasn't that easy. Am I happy with it? Yes. Would I make the same thing again? I don't know. Maybe if I get better at sewing. And I was actually looking forward to finishing it once we got super close to the end, so that was cool. And I got better at the sewing machine. It's not the hardest thing in the world. My dad was watching a person's show where these men were sewing things and they were doing it with one hand. I'm like, I'm making this too complicated. But we finished it. My mom did a little bit of the last minute things, so I didn't get the satisfaction of having like the last seam be the one that I did, but I had fun with it and it got finished, which is like the most important thing. So I'm gonna show it to you. Please don't judge me. It's not the best thing in the world, but I'm happy with it. Enjoy my skirt. I enjoy it. I can't say enough, honestly, that I'm happy with it, and I only would change the fact that I didn't get to use the fabric I wanted to. I don't mind that it's a wrap skirt. Honestly, it fits kind of the same as what I was originally hoping to make, so that's cool. If you have any projects you think I could get away with having no skill whatsoever, let me know. Let me know what you thought of my skirt. Please don't be mean, because I like it. Like I said, a video coming explaining where I've been and what things have been going on and what things are coming. I hope everybody's safe and doing well and not too bored or depressed or stressed out right now. Things are crazy, but they got to get better eventually, you know? Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.